Hello and welcome to Me and My Golf TV. Now, normally, Andy, we're at the Asprey. Today we aren't.
We're in a special place today.
Special place.
It's really sunny, very warm.
It's warm, yeah. Okay, so we're at TaylorMade HQ and we are standing outside the gates to the Kingdom. So this is their flagship fitting centre for TaylorMade. So we are going to do a what's in the bag.
What's in the bag? So you're going to see what we use now.
Yeah.
And new golfers.
This is all part of our Take Charge tour.
Yep.
So if you haven't seen any of the other videos, then make sure you have a look at those. Plenty of videos out there. So Andy, let's go in there and find out
what's in the bag.
What's in the bag? Through the keyhole.
Okay, so a slightly different venue to the Asprey Pierce. I think I prefer this
nice,
one.
Isn't
What do
it?
you think?
This
The sun is
that
out.
Big yellow thing up in the sky really helps.
Permanently out. So today, guys, we're here at the Kingdom at TaylorMade headquarters here in Carlsbad, California, and we're doing a what's in the bag. We've recently had our new clubs, the TaylorMades, come through, and we're here with expert senior fitter here, Darryl Day. Thanks for having us, Darryl. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Darryl.
Thank you. So we're going to be showing you guys what we play with, some of the technologies behind the clubs, so hopefully you can understand the benefits of being fitted and what the technology is available. So let's get stuck into what's in the bag for me.
Okay, so Darryl, now off camera you promised me that you're going to show me how to use these, so you're going to get the launch monitor out and help me out later, yeah?
Absolutely.
Is that right?
Absolutely. I think you're a talented player anyway.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Okay, so let's go through the sets. Andy, they are quite similar, but Andy, let's go with yours first of all.
Mine's a little bit different to yours. Let's start with the wedges. Now, the wedges for me, really key things to get right at distance control. So I want to make sure that I can get, I'm standing over a distance, I want to know I can hit that ball to that distance. So I've gone for the 52, okay, that's the gap wedge, and I've gone for the 58 in the ATB grind. So 58 for me is the highest loft. I like to actually open the face and sort of play and work with that. Don't like something too much lofted, so the 58 for me is perfect. And I know the ATV grind is a little bit different. Now I'm quite steep with my wedges, so this plays in well with this style, the ATV.
Absolutely, that's made for you.
Made for me.
Steep players, great in the bunkers, great out of the rough.
Okay, so multi-purpose this one. So again,
it's quite interesting that's obviously the main feature in the design of that, isn't it? That you can play it off ATV all terrains, isn't it?
Yes.
So you can have the tight lies and the thicker lies,
correct.
and I think that's obviously it's your most important club in your bag, other than your putter, pretty much.
Yeah,
obviously the driver, you guys.
This is a club. This is a scoring club for me. If I get sort of under say 90 yards, this is the club I want to be able to control and play in all those different lies as well. So it's really important
to have that playability. Okay, so you got 52, 58. Andy, what you got in the irons?
Irons, I've gone for the Tour Preferred MCs. Now the reason I chose these were I still like to look at a classic looking head, but because I don't actually play lots of golf, I don't really find the sweet spot all the time. So I wanted something with a bit of room for error. So I've got something here with a slightly bigger head. It's not quite oversized, but it certainly gives me that sort of comfort that when I'm over the golf ball, it looks nice, but it's not too small that I'm thinking, oh, it might be a bit tricky this. And with the speed pocket here on this Darryl, it sort of helps give me that little bit extra sort of distance as well.
That's the magic in these irons here, is the speed slot. Allows for a thin face, the ball compresses harder and comes off faster, so you're going to gain some distance in all your irons, and going up to your 3-iron, you'll probably get into your rescue area with your longest iron.
And that is definitely what everybody wants to get more, a little bit more.
It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, definitely more distance. But interesting you mentioned about the gapping there. About we see so many people when we get them on the lesson tee and they have a 3 and a 4 and 5 iron. You say, well, hang on a bit, they're all doing the same job. They all go the same distance in the air. Your 3 and 4 iron. There's not really a need to use those, and this is more of a players' club as well, isn't it?
Well, absolutely.
We found even the better players sometimes struggle to flight it.
Absolutely. And we found through testing that the better player will thin shots a little bit more than they will fat them or hit them heavy.
Definitely get a
few
of those.
hitting a ball thin in the face here, you're not losing any distance at all. So you can miss it farther.
So when I thin it next time in a course vlog, it was meant, obviously.
That's right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
One of the great things about looking down at the 3 and 4 iron, it does not look like a 3 and 4 iron. It looks. Again, it still looks good, but I've got the confidence when I'm looking down at these to hit these. So, that really helps me when I'm looking down at 3 and 4 iron, especially in a cold day back in the UK.
Absolutely. And I noticed in the irons, just looking at the irons, obviously we know that they are different. They haven't got the speed slot in there.
Right. So wedge. The pitching wedge should go the same distance as you've had if it's the same loft as your old clubs. 9-iron in this set with strength in 1 degree, and the 8-iron as well. And then you start getting into the slot technology in the 7-iron and up.
So obviously with these, it's more about controlling the distance rather than creating it. Yeah. And regarding the makeup, I've gone half an inch longer. I'm quite tall, and I've gone 1 degree upright just to obviously make sure that they're coming through solid and flat when I hit the golf ball.
Shafts you got there, Andy?
Shaft Project X 6.5. Now I've never used this shaft before, but this was something that when I was fitted at the Belfry, this just felt really solid for me.
Yeah.
And combined with the head, the feeling in the head, it just felt great, and it just did really feel like quite stiff, and I like that in the shafts. You know, with an iron I don't really want to feel any movement really, so this just really helped me to give that solid feel on the club.
Sounds good.
Sounds perfect.
Alright, let's get up there. What we got? Rescue.
Okay, rescue is the next one. So we have here a 19-degree 2-iron. So I mean, I wanted something that I could obviously fit between my 3 and my 3-wood, and this hits it about sort of 250 for me, which is great. But under control, it's obviously got the length of an iron shaft, a lot shorter than the 3-wood, but also feels for me that I can't hit this left.
Okay.
If I can't hit a club left, I'm really happy. We'll see maybe tomorrow at tomorrow's game.
We'll see that.
But yeah, the SLDR, you know, the 2-iron, the rescue really feels good, and I've got a, I'm not actually sure what the shaft is in this.
It's a Tory speeder.
Okay, a speeder shaft,
so it's 85 grams or so in a stiff.
And a stiff shaft as well. So again, something for me, similar sort of feel with the irons I wanted to keep, which feels again solid. Playability of an iron for me, I didn't want it to feel too much like a wood.
And it's got the speed slot technology in that too, so you probably gain a few yards in that. Plus the adjustable lofts in this. If you have a yardage dial that you need dialed in, you can adjust the loft to get that.
Perfect. Plenty of playability with that then, isn't there, by the sounds of it?
It's interesting, that's 88 grams. They're normally heavier, aren't the shafts? Than the graphite shafts normally heavier in the hybrids? Is that
well, that's the thing. You want to try to bleed the weights down from where your driver is into the weights of your irons. So it's normal to have a little bit heavier.
Yeah,
closer to your irons.
Okay, so then we move to 3-wood. I have the SLDR 3-wood, 15 degree, matrix rule shaft, slightly heavier, 70 grams in this with a stiff flex. Again, similar sort of feeling I wanted to create through the whole set, really keeping it very solid feel. And the weight of this just felt more comfortable with me when I hit the shots as well.
Just show that shaft to the camera.
Nice, pretty colour that is.
Lots of pretty colours there. I think you sure you didn't ask for the colour? Is that not what you?
Well, I did ask the pink, but they ran out of the pink ones. And then to the driver, the important one, obviously the SLDR driver. This is an important club for me. Maximising distance is obviously a key, but also the forgiveness. And the SLDR here, I went for the 10.5 degree standard loft. The weight actually, I didn't actually move the weight. It seemed to be flying good with the weight in the centre there. Yeah. Obviously, you can adjust the weight here based on obviously the individual and their playability and what they're doing, but matching shaft as well.
And that's obviously something when you're fitting. Obviously, that's where you'll do all the tweaking around, isn't it? Sort of.
Correct. Yeah, you try to see the patterns, the general patterns players hit it, and you can certainly adjust the loft again. And if they have left and right tendencies that they don't like, that's where the weight in the bottom comes in. You kind of put it on the fade side if he hates to draw it or hook it, and the other way if he's having trouble slicing.
And if you were to watch our patterns, you might wear out wrenches. You'd be changing it every shot.
I mean, we're actually testing out the SLDR at the Belfry. With my old driver, it used to spin it around about 2.9, which is quite high. So even on a 10.5 degree, this driver really did keep that spin rate low. And even into the wind, I'm teeing this up high, and it just doesn't move. It sort of just carries on that flight. And because of that low spin, it just gives me that extra yardage that I can create. You know, without sort of ball speed's no different that I'm creating, but the fitting is key there, and the technology in the head has just enabled me to keep that ball going forward. Really.
It is. It's so important. I know when I had my fitting as well, Andy, we tried so many different combinations just to make sure it was right. So guys, when you are getting a driver, make sure you get fitted. You know, these guys are superb. I mean, they scare us with their technology. What they know, their insights, a lot more than we know about the golf clubs. So it's really important that you do that. So.
And I haven't been fitted for years, and it was different. It was an eye opener for me.
Yeah,
really.
It's a good experience, isn't it?
Did both you loft up in these heads?
I think I was half a degree. Okay. Half a degree, so a little bit higher loft, but less spin. So it's the technology obviously works. So there's my set. Pierce, let's go into yours. Which is similar, not quite. I know we dress the same, but we have got some slight differences.
You know what? The iron is exactly the same. That's what you've just seen. So yeah, same clothes, same clubs. I think, you know, I'll start with the wedges. So I've gone for a slightly different loft. So I've gone 52, 56, 60. So like Andy likes to play a lot of shots around the greens with a more lofted face, you know, so he can open the face a little bit more. I prefer not to do that. I prefer to go with actually more square stance shots and what have you. And I just feel that for me, I really like the 52. It fills the gap nicely between the pitching wedge and the sand wedge. But I've always used a 56, and a lot of that down to me is just that I've grown up using a 56, and I really feel comfortable with that. So I'm sure that's what happens when you fit people. You know, you ask them what the clubs they're comfortable with already, and then see if you can just tweak up the edges.
Absolutely. Where are the important parts of the game? If they hit a lot of wedge shots, then they probably want to put a few more wedges in the bag than they're used to.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so irons exactly the same. Oh, actually, there's a slightly different shaft in the wedge. Actually, I've got a KBS Tour in there. So I'm assuming, I think if it's a little bit heavier as well, is that?
It's actually not compared to that, but
it's actually lighter than this one.
It's a little bit softer, maybe feel, and maybe you can
Okay.
Have some different shots come off the face with,
Okay.
with a little soft.
Bit heavier than a normal wedge shaft,
Yeah.
would it be?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. Superb. So yeah, irons same as Andy, 6.5 with the Project X. Had tried Project X before and really liked it. I've got 3 iron through to wedge. Now you may look at my set and go, hang on a bit, 3 iron through to wedge and 3 wedges and a putter and a rescue and a 3-wood and a driver. That is 15 clubs. But what I like to do with my set is that it depends on the golf course. So it's almost like a squad. So whether it be, you know, I've got my team and yeah, absolutely, I've got my squad. So I actually, if I feel like I'm on a really long course or I maybe hit some long irons into the green like a 3 iron, the 3 iron will go into the set. But the 3 iron will be the club that comes out. If I play a shorter golf course where I want to hit these wedges, so maybe like Andy will hit lots of half shots with his wedge shots, I want to feel as though I'm hitting pretty much full shots. So the 3 wedges help me do that. 3 iron comes out. If I'm on a long course, the 60 will come out and I'll go from there with that, or the 52, depending.
Smart game plan.
It sounds good, doesn't it? Sounds good. Okay, rescue, let's check it out there. So, now this is one for me that I've never really, I've always not liked rescues. I've had an old 2 iron that I used for years and years and years. Actually interested to try out your UDI actually, that looks a really good golf club. But, so rescues for me, I've never felt as though they were stable enough, the control was there, but I've managed to get it in this shaft, and I think this is the whole thing about the fitting experience. I've tried rescue clubs all the time and never really felt that comfortable with them, but as soon as a fitter got hold of them, I told him what the problems I had, that, you know, I didn't feel I had the control down there. He goes, right, try this shaft. Suddenly I hit a rescue club, so same loft as Andy's, it's the rescue, the 3 hybrid, 19 degree. As soon as that fitter was giving me the shaft that I wanted, suddenly I've got a whole new outlook on a rescue club. Now I actually like hitting it. So in our course vlogs, you're going to see me use this now, not my old 2 iron. Got it set at standard loft. I'm going to sort of play with that a little bit. I always like to maybe hit some low ones as well, so I might sort of knock that down a little bit, maybe with the wind that we get back in the UK, and the rain and the snow and the hail.
Similar to here.
Yeah, that's just the same. 3-wood. Okay, now this is interesting because with the 3-wood, I've actually gone for the HL, the high launch one. So I've gone for a 17 degree. So the idea with that was that I can get the gapping a little bit better. So I've got it set up as standard on there. But again, I could mess around with that a little bit if I want to. Maybe drop that a little bit into. I think what's the actual loft on this? It's 17.
17,
sorry.
yeah.
So maybe around about 16 I can get it down to, and that was
well,
pretty
all the
good.
options are there for you. Right?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You have
a lot of
all
tour
these
players
options.
have gone to the 17 degree in this because of the height they need to
Okay.
stop it on a green.
Yeah,
They're getting
okay.
the distance.
Yeah.
But now they got the height combined with it, and so they have the stopping power.
That's
on the
interesting.
par 5.
That's another thing I have in common with the Tour Pro. Right, okay, so here we go. Shaft Fubuki, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, it's an X Flex. It looks fantastic. That's not the reason I had it though. But I have actually again tried this before. Tried lots of different options. This actually just felt like the best fit for me. So what I mean, does anyone on tour use this shaft? Is that something
Absolutely,
that you've seen a few people
a
use
lot of
it?
Mitsubishi shafts out there. Fubuki's one of them.
One of the ones, yeah. Okay.
It's interesting on your woods piers as well. You like to go with something that's really firm. So
Yeah.
you like a really stiff shaft on your woods. And again, you've mentioned feel quite a few times.
yeah.
So you can see how important it is when you're testing these clubs out and when you're getting fitted that the personal preference really does come into it as well. Obviously, you know, we're fitting around ball flight, but obviously, you know, you're the golfer. You've got to find something that's going to suit you, and you're going to feel comfortable.
And would you say that's a big component of the feel factor?
Huge component.
Okay.
Yeah. So the feedback you get from the players is important to understand what they're trying to say and what they're trying to do with the golf ball. And obviously, you like to attack the ball a little bit harder with the woods.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
it sounds like a firmer shaft to be in play. You're probably more
Yeah,
feeding the golf ball
a little
and
bit,
placing it out there,
yeah. I like the firm shafts in the irons, but I like to have a little bit of feel in the woods really. So it's different slightly.
Okay, right. We'll get back to that in a second about what people should actually go and look for when they go for a fitting and some key questions. We'll get into that. So, okay, I've got 10.5. Now I have had it changed ever so slightly, so I've gone up a little bit. 11.25 is my my loft I've been doing. I've actually been messing around with that in some balls this morning, but I'm about 11.25, so I definitely lofted up. I was a 10 degree before, so it's interesting that it's a bit strange to start with, and I'm sure the Tour Pros found this when they were hitting the balls to start with and they were going really high. They're going, do I like that? And I'm sure he had a mixed response, but then when you look at maybe TrackMan and see the numbers, I'm sure they're seeing that obviously they're getting more distance.
And that's an easy sell then for most
that's
players.
it,
Luke Donald actually fooled around with a 12 degree early on and was hitting it better.
Yeah.
Was scared of seeing so much face, you know, because he's looked at less face all his career. So it's an adjustment for some players. Really easy to get it in for the public because they just want to see the ball go farther.
Yeah. I mean, I'm actually probably quite. If you didn't put that number on the bottom, I'm sure that would make a big difference as well, wouldn't it?
It does.
If you didn't put 10.5 on the bottom, it would actually make a massive difference on the whole psyche of the. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So right, Fubuki again, X in that. I mean, look, this is for me. We had R1 before. I think R1 was good. It was powerful, definitely. I felt it was powerful. I think this is more powerful, but perhaps didn't feel I had the control with that I maybe have with this club. So I'm not just saying that because this is the latest one, but definitely feel that this golf club is a better club than the R1 for me personally. Anyway, I don't know about yourself, Andy.
Yeah, it is. I think from the control aspect, definitely, it goes, you know, a good distance. But for me, it definitely keeps it on the pitch.
We've got students still who use the R1s and they love them, and they really do. And when we were getting rid of ours, it was like, there's a bit of a clamour. But you know what? I think this is actually it is an improvement for me anyway.
They keep doing it every year here. I don't know how, but it's coming up with good product.
But I think that's the game plan, isn't it, for TaylorMade? Obviously, to get the driver in the bag, which is the best on tour. So just a quick one on that, I suppose, before, unless you've got some questions on it in a second. But when someone's going for a fitting, what are the most important things? We mentioned the feel there, so they've got to tell that you've got to tell the fitter that you know what you like.
And that depends on the experience of the player too. If they haven't felt a whole bunch of different clubs in their time playing, it's hard to maybe. So we got to do a lot of testing and try to capture a feel that they like. And you're trying to predict that they're going to get better as they keep playing. You're trying to encourage them that, and as they get better, they're going to start feeling things differently. And that's when they can come back for another fitting. And
so I suppose it's a good thing would be, and we always say this, that because we don't actually fit, myself and Andy, that when we speak to our clients, say obviously go there and discuss what you want to feel out the club, what you want to get out of your shot. Obviously tell them what you want to do, straighter, less slice, which is probably the norm. But you know, go there armed with a list of questions, maybe even from the coach. Find out what the coach wants you to do. So I'm sure you get that people come to you and say, well, my coach says I need to do this more, and you go, okay, well, this will help you do that, and you can then almost see the progression from that.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay, that sounds good.
So now you know what we have and what we're playing with. So while we're out in California, we better test these out, Pierce, and get on some golf courses.
You got any spare shafts? I might be throwing mine.
Not if they work that good.
I hope so.
Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed that, and hope it's give you an insight of what these products do and obviously what we're playing with. So and thank you to Daryl, and thank you for TaylorMade for having us here at this beautiful location here in California. We want to stay, please. We want to stay.
Have a look.
Okay, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Me and My Golf TV.
Thanks for watching.